Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. I'm Aura, and today we are going to talk about superpowers. So, if you're ready, join me and let's dive right into it. So, why superpowers? Well, this is a topic that I wanted to talk to you about for a very long time. That is because, probably like me, you probably also loved superheroes as a kid. You probably still do. I know I still do. And I always identified with them as a child. I used to think that I'm Sailor Moon. I actually knew that I'm Sailor Moon and Sailor Saturn. And you pick your character that you feel closest to and that you feel embodies certain characteristics that you could also embody. And why do we do that? We do that specifically as children, or especially as children, because we know that we have superpowers. We know that humans are more than they pretend to be. And I think pretend is the best word here because we live in a pretend society. As we grow up, we are programmed to behave a certain way, to think a certain way in order to fit into certain boxes that would then get us somewhere in life. Or we make personal decisions to no longer behave in childish ways to become respectable adults. But as children, as our mind functions in the states of delta, theta, and later on alpha, we have a broader perspective. We are more sensitive. Actually, we're not just more sensitive, we are naturally sensitive. We just tend to lose this sensitivity through the programming and conditioning that we receive from our elders, from society, despite the fact that as kids, many of us did not understand the grown-up world with its stiff rules and masks and greed and wars and role-playings and so on. As children, we not only believed in magic, we knew that there is magic, that we are magic. So many of us had invisible friends. And I say had because even the ones of us who now as adults no longer remember these parts of ourselves because I have to Google the word. I don't remember what it's called in English. I just have the word in Swedish, repressed. We have repressed these parts of ourselves in order to be respectable adults. We have forgotten that we used to have imaginary friends. We have forgotten that we used to talk to plants, we used to talk to trees, we used to talk to animals, that we knew that there is so much more to life, so much more to our essence, so much more to this human embodiment. As children, we all come into this world with an infinite amount of universal wisdom. We know that it is through our imagination that we create the world. We know that it is through imagination that we make magic happen. We know that we can heal with energy because we are made up of energy, and it's enough to set the intention to heal another or ourselves, as our intention sets the energy in motion. The problem is that later on, most of us, after the age of 6, 7, 8, we begin to be shamed by society around us for believing in magic. We feel guilty for still watching cartoons and doing childish things, or even just thinking about these so-called childish things. And this shame and guilt, they just begin to narrow us down. They begin to contract us as a human being in order to fit into that box which is accepted within our society. The biggest problem with forgetting about this part of ourselves is that we forget that we have a soul. We forget that we have a heart. We forget that we have an intuition. We simply operate this life with our everyday mind. And with the mind, I mean solely the brain, because the soul does reside in the mind as well, or it is an extension of the mind. But what we do is we restrict ourselves to logic and reason. And this logic and reason reside within an inquisitive, skeptic, anxious brain, a brain that we have had for thousands of years, which has not developed since the Stone Age. And back in the Stone Age, it was all about survival. We were in the middle of the food chain. Our brain was constantly watching out for predators and climate that would kill us. And as our brains have not developed since then, but the threat is gone, Our brain is now looking for other things in its environment, such as our family, our bosses, our friends, strangers on the street that might threaten our life in a way or another. And because we are limited to a logical thinking state of mind, we live our lives stressed and in anxiety, forgetting about our state of being as a creature made up of a mind, body, and soul. The soul aspect of us is the way out. It is our liberation. And as I mentioned before, the soul is an extension of our mind, as is our body. Our mind is the bridge between our physical and our ethereal state of being. When we bring our mind with our heart into coherence with our intuition and our gut feeling, we become what one might call superhuman, but it's actually complete humans. We are not just meant to be logical robots walking about this life, breathing and then dying. We are extraordinarily creative beings, fractals of God, containing the entirety of God itself incarnated right here, right now on this planet. Cosmos, it's okay. The cosmos has spoken, affirming these words. And so, where was I? Yes, magic, superhumans, supernatural. We are not boring, is what I'm trying to say. We are all powerful. We are magnificent, extraordinary beings. It's just that we limit ourselves. And I think it's about time we stop doing that, because if we were to embody our entire potential, which is infinite, we could create heaven on earth, which is right here, right now, available for us. It's just that we keep postponing this embodiment of our true essence. We keep shaming each other for being unlimited and stepping out of the line, stepping outside of the box. We all want change, but almost none of us is willing to change. Change will never come unless you change, unless we change. Everything starts with us. We keep thinking that, oh, I'm going to wait for the world to change and then I'm going to change. Oh my God, I cannot speak. But that's not how it works. First, we need to embody the state of being that we wish to attain. I keep giving this example of what does the ideal human being look like? How does the ideal human being live this life on earth? What does that look like for you? How do they live their life? What are their dreams? How do they behave? How do they treat others? The ideal human being in the ideal world. And once you have that covered, once you know what that looks like, begin to live that way. And once you begin to live that way, no matter what, the world around you will begin to change. It cannot not change because we are made up of energy. We are electromagnetic beings. As we change, this change ripples out. Our emotions are energy in motion. Again, as we are energy. So as you change around you and in the world is inevitable. And in the beginning, yes, it might seem like the chaos might be intensifying, but it's intensifying because everything is also a test, the way that I see it. You are being tested by your own essence, by the universe, to see, do you really want this change? How badly do you want it? Are you truly engaged in it? And so as you keep persevering, the world around you will respond. And not only that, but people seeing you, seeing this difference and this change in you will enable them to do the same. And with that, your physicality will change, your health will resonate, will vibrate at this new level of your essence. And my camera just died, which means that was it for today. And with that said, I bid you a most beautiful moment of the infinite now. Thank you so much for being with me today. Take care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.